Hey, this is Steve Sanchez. Welcome to another edition of Unfiltered. We've got a good one for you today, especially if you're a boxing fan like I am. And I mean, it's not even just boxing, it's fitness. I mean, coming from me, a guy that's lost 45 pounds, 40 more to go, you would think that I wasn't talking about fitness. It wasn't too long ago. I was at the restaurants doing selfies of all the barbecue ribs and everything else I was eating that got me into some trouble. We're going to cover that here in a bit. And this is, in fact, how I got to actually get to know these two gentlemen. One doesn't need an introduction. I don't think either of them do, but being that I'm such a big boxing fan, I've got world boxing champion hanging out with me, Roy Jones Jr. He's with me, Hall of Famer, Olympic medalist, 4 different weight divisions. I mean, you've had a career, Roy, and I appreciate you hanging out with us for a bit. And we've got Ron Oliver, personal trainer. He is a guru when it comes to fitness. He works hand in hand with Roy and many others. He's just literally for 35 years has been basically helping people live longer, reduce the anti-aging aspects that sometimes we have. And happy to have both of you on. So we're going to keep it real, man. We're just going to have a conversation, but let's get started. Roy, I'm going to come to you first, obviously, being that I'm a huge boxing fan. I've seen many of your fights, and man, you got to take us back a little bit. Did you always want to be a boxer when you were a kid?
First of all, I want to say thank you, man, for having me on. Thank you for having us on. Thank you for being a boxing fan. Thank you for the support you've given me throughout the years. Yeah, as a kid, man, I didn't realize till I got 13, but as a kid, my dad was watching a lot of Muhammad Ali. And
Yeah.
when he would watch Muhammad Ali, he was always so intrigued by Muhammad Ali. So I started watching because I wanted to see. When you're young, usually your father's your first hero.
Yeah.
You understand me? So you want to know what makes him happy, what makes him click, what gets him going. Muhammad Ali always got my father going. Muhammad Ali and James Brown.
All
Well,
right.
I like Muhammad Ali because I like to fight. So I said, let me look at him and see what he's doing that's so intriguing to my dad. So when I was watching box, I think it was 74, he fought Joe Frazier, I think.
Yeah.
And I was watching beat Joe Frazier not so much with his hands as much as he was with his mind. So I was like, wow, if somebody teach me how to throw my hands, I can do that because I can stay calm under any situation and I still can operate. So what he's doing is he's staying calm while he's trying to frustrate the other guy, and he still can operate at a moderate or at a high rate,
Yeah.
while the other guy's completely upset and befuddled.
Yeah. He was a
And
technical fighter, is what he
that's
was.
what made me want to box.
Yeah. Growing up, I mean, did you get forced to have to box? I mean, kids in the neighborhood, and we all grew up and we're taking it and throwing down behind the library, and people were
Yeah.
like, "Hey, man, I don't want to screw around with that kid Roy. I mean, this guy
Well,
has stuff up."
the problem with me was growing up, I was not that guy, but what the guy was I was the guy that wanted to fight the bully. If somebody was being bullied, I tell them, please don't bother him. Come fight me.
There
I
you go.
want to fight. I love to fight. So please don't beat him. He don't want to fight. Come fight me. And that's kind of who I was. And as I got older and started boxing, though, I had to quickly come out of that because I once had a fight with a kid that I used to fight all the time, Detrell Spellman. And I hit Detrell with the right hand on his lip, and it completely messed his lip up. And I realized then, wow, knowing how to box for real makes a total difference. So you
Yeah, there
can't
you
do
go.
that anymore. So I had to stop.
Now, obviously, I mean, we'll get to your championships. I mean, from all these different weight divisions. But okay, you're younger. You realize, hey, I like boxing. I'm good at it. My inspiration, at least one of them, is Muhammad Ali. You start training, and you get there. I mean, you go, you get an Olympic, you're an Olympic medalist. You get there. What's the feeling like when you finally turn pro and you're like, hey, man, I made it? What's the anticipation of getting in the ring? Is there any fear? Is it straight confidence? I mean, how what's your mind going through when you're in there and saying, I've got to face this guy if I'm going to get to another level?
It's confidence for me. But when I turned pro, I had the direct opposite approach to what you just said. It wasn't like I made it. Now I gotta go become world champion and show these people that robbed me in the Olympics but made me the most outstanding boxer. I gotta go show the world now that I am the best boxer on the planet. I
There you
was the best boxer at the Olympics because they gave me a silver medal. Then they said I was the best boxer at the Olympics. How does the best boxer at the Olympics get a silver medal anyway? They don't have a gold
go.
because
Yeah.
y'all cheated. So now when I turn pro, because at first I didn't really want to turn pro. If you can't win after beating a guy that bad, why are you in that sport? So, but after contemplating and seeing the looks on the little guys' faces when I got back, the little guys, I mean the guys that were in the gym that fought that were younger than me, they
Yeah.
thought I was gonna quit, and that's something they thought didn't. They thought I couldn't even spell quit. So when I saw the looks in their eyes, I knew right then, dang it, man, I may as well go and get ready to embark on this professional career. So now I got to go prove to the world that not only should I have been a gold medalist, but I am what they said I am. I
Yeah.
am the best fighter in the world, and that's what I did. So that was my motivation.
Roy, I'll tell you, and I grew up watching boxing. My dad was a huge boxing fan. My dad was a fan of yours, a fan of the guys like Ali, Foreman, De La Hoya, Sugar Ray Leonard. Just the list goes on. So growing up in my household, it was just normal to watch boxing, and it was normal to pay those pay-per-view fees to watch Tyson finish in in the first round. But it was just this excitement with boxing. So literally, and we'll talk here about Neutronics Labs and how we came to connect through Neutronics Labs to be able to sit down and interview you because I was such a fan, still am a fan.
Thank you.
Some people are saying, man, Roy Jones Jr. is considered to be one of the greatest boxers of all time. How does that make you feel? I mean, I know you're a humble guy and faith plays a lot in who you are, but how does that make you feel where you did it?
It makes me feel over the moon because it's not many people that they can ever say that could be considered one of the best to ever do it. You feel me? My favorite three boxers when I was growing up, my favorite three, I had a lot more, but my main three were Muhammad Ali, Salvador Sanchez, and Sugar Ray Leonard.
There you go.
I want to know what made those three guys stand out in everybody's eyes. Now there were a few more like the Marvin Hagler's, Roberto
Oh yeah.
Duran's, Wilfred Benitez, Tommy Hearns, a few more that I learned other things from Alexis Oquel, other guys I learned things from, but I wanted to know what made the top guys stand out because whatever made them stand out, I need to be able to combine that in one fighter. If you combine that in one fighter, you gotta stand out. You gotta be the best. And
Yeah.
that's what I kind of did.
Well, you went. I mean, this is unheard of. I mean, really, in boxing, you went from one division, champion, world champion, another division, world champion, another division, world champion. I mean, that's pretty intense, man. Was it to the point where you're like, you know what? I've achieved this goal. Now, why not push myself and go for the other goal, right?
It's crazy because there are other people who have actually went more divisions than I have. Pacquiao got like 8 divisions, but nobody's ever covered the amount of weight that I covered.
Yeah.
Because some of his divisions were only 3 or 4 pounds apart. I went from 154 when I turned pro to heavyweight, which is infinity. Nobody ever covered that much weight. Nobody ever won that many divisions at the top
Right.
and had a heavyweight title involved. Only Bob Fitzsimmons won the middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. He didn't win the super middleweight because it didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
But nobody ever turned professional as a junior middleweight and became heavyweight champ of the world.
No.
That's saying a lot. That covered more pounds than any other fighter to ever live. So
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing for me. And what happened was when I started cleaning out the divisions, I couldn't get the real fights I wanted, so I moved up.
Yeah, there you go.
Or like when I was middleweight, they said James Turner was the man. And to be the man, you got to beat the man. So when I wanted to be the man, so I had to go up and fight the man. Now, I didn't get treated fairly to do it because when he moved up to fight Iran Barkley from middleweight to super middleweight, they let him keep his middleweight title. If you move up in weight, you don't lose your title, even if you lose the fight because you went up in weight.
Okay.
You go down in weight and you get beat, you lose your title because it's under your weight class. But if you go up in weight and you get beat, you don't lose your title. But when he went up to fight Iran Barkley, they let him keep his middleweight title. He beat Iran Barkley. They gave him 10 days to decide whether he wanted to be the middleweight champ or the super middleweight champ. He chose super middleweight champ. He vacated the middleweight champ. Me and Bernard fought for the middleweight title, right?
Yeah.
But when I signed to go up and fight him, because I wanted to prove that I was the best in the world, as soon as I signed the fight to go up to fight the super middleweight champ, they stripped me of my IBF title.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Come on, but really?
Yeah.
They didn't do it to him, but because I don't have the big promoters, I'm not a puppet for the big promoters,
Yeah.
I don't get that same treatment.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, no,
understand?
yeah, I see it.
So,
It
so
happens today still in a
yeah,
variety of different things, right? I mean, let's just be
exactly.
real.
But again, God has a way of doing things because God made it to where if I don't beat him, I'm at rock bottom. So he said, now you got even more reason to go out there and show the world that you're the best. Because if you don't, you got to walk out there with nothing. You're not going to get the same luxury he had. But
Yeah.
you don't need that luxury. You got God. So you fine.
I'm glad you brought that up, God, because that was my next question I have. Obviously faith plays a huge part in everything you do. And I've seen you give glory to God in everything you do. Um, walk us through. You're in the locker room. You're getting ready to go hit a fight, and maybe it's someone that is going to be a challenge for you, or maybe that they are not. And I'm sure every match is a challenge, but you've got to be technical and you're very good. Obviously, you're a world champion, but how do you feel? I mean, is this something when you're sitting in the locker room, you're saying, "Hey, God, you know what? You give me this. I'm going to continue to give you glory. I'm going to." I mean, how does that faith play in Roy Jones Jr.? Because I know faith is a big deal to you. It's for me too.
For me, it's crazy, but this is how I play it. And it's not playing as real as I live it. I know that God gave me something special and made me something special. There are times when we may do things that are different or we may have to make a sacrifice. So when you go, you don't know what is surrounding everything you're doing. You just gotta go.
Yeah,
But you pray to God that you're protected, that you finish it well, that you come out alive, and you go do whatever it is God wants you to go do. Because we only can do what God allows us to do.
that's right. Yeah,
And you're not the only person, I'm not the only person, we're not the only people that believe in God or that love God. There are other people that love God too. So sometimes, depending on what stage you are in your life or what you're doing, he may give that person a good day too. You just never know. So you have to pray about it. Then you go make the most of it. Whatever happens, happens. But you know you're in God's hands regardless. So you
right.
just go for it.
Was there ever an opponent you faced where when you were done, you were like, man, that was a fight, man. Is it everyone, or is there one in particular where you're like, man, I didn't know if I was going to come out of that one. That was a fight.
Um, to be honest with you, all of them feel like that, but I always know pretty much what's gonna happen or how it's gonna happen or how it can happen. You know the options when you go in. The best fight I ever fought was James Tony. I knew James was gonna be difficult, but he was even more difficult than I thought he was gonna be. Um, Other than that, nobody else really surprised me. Everybody else was like they were what I expected or more, or nobody was more than what I expected.
Yeah,
James had an impeccable defense that was even harder to hit than I thought it would be. So he was the only person I was like, man, now I see why he was the best, why he's James Turner. But you knew that going in because he was pound for pound the best at that time anyway. So
yeah,
I kind of knew that, but he just proved it.
yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. Did you ever get approached later in life because you've been out a bit? Obviously, you and I were born in '69, so we're both 56. Um, did anybody ever approach you to do like an exhibition? You know how you're seeing the Paul brothers doing stuff just recently with Tyson and some stuff. And I have nothing against these guys. I really don't. But it just isn't the way boxing was. It seems like it's more exhibition and that's fine. That's cool. I can't take anything away from them. They're successful YouTubers and they've jumped into this genre, one in the UFC, one in boxing, but that wasn't boxing for me. Is that the way boxing is now? Is it just more exhibition? Because it seems like UFC has taken things to another level. And even though boxing's still there, it seems that it's not the flavor, right, that it used to be. And I wonder why that is. It blows my mind.
First of all, we both 6'9", but I'm January, so I'm already 57.
You're already 57. You beat me. Okay, you
I
beat
beat
me.
you there. Second, so what happened in boxing was when certain people got in charge or got the reins and started leading everybody in boxing, they weren't fighting the best fights. They were fighting the most money fights. You understand me?
Yeah,
When that happened, everybody started changing and saying, hey, I want to be like him. I want to make a lot of money too.
sure.
Well, to make a lot of money, you avoid the big fights when it's time to make them happen.
Yeah.
You take the smarter fights to keep you undefeated, so you can always brag and say, "Hey, you the best because you undefeated." You understand?
Yeah.
So when that started happening, people started shying away from the challenge. And while we shying away from the challenge, there's one man that run the UFC. He determines everybody's fate. That was Dana White. He
Okay.
determines who champ, who not champ, who get to fight for the belt. He determines everything. He's in full control. So his guys are being forced to fight best against the best, which is good. They're just
Yeah.
not getting paid good for it.
Yeah.
You understand me?
I do.
So they're fighting the best against the best, but they're not really getting paid like they should. They have no real identity. They got to wear the clothes that his organization say they wear. They got to do everything the way he say do it, which is cool because the fans get what they want, but the characters are not really getting what they should get.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So it's like that's why I don't want that model to come into boxing, because that's not good either. But the way that all the influences got into boxing is because two mules are a good race. So you put Jake Paul against another athlete, that's a good fight if the person's an athlete, because at the time Jake wasn't all that good at boxing.
Yeah.
Jake got better, and the Joshua showed Jake still is levels. He's not to that level.
Right.
So, but he was smart because he fought other mules, other people that people thought would give him a challenge, and made so much money doing that because of social media that he didn't need to fight nobody for real. I don't know why he even fought Anthony Joshua. That was crazy. He didn't need that. He didn't need that.
Yeah.
But he also showed a real boxer what you can do if you can go get that social media presence.
Yeah.
So it's funny because it's so crazy. He made so much money that it make you say, wow, what if you went back now and started doing exhibitions and got a social media presence with this Neutronics Labs stuff you own? What could you really do at 57? You feel me? Because he did it with a lot less boxing skills, but more social media presence. So
would
why
you do
couldn't
something
you?
like that? Would you?
It's a thought. It goes through my head every now and then. And I did do an exhibition with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And it was a good, properly done exhibition.
Sure.
They beat us out of all the money, but it was just exhibition. So for me, I didn't take it serious. Like, oh, y'all got to pay my money, because it was no real, to me, it was like, exhibition is exhibition. They said, if y'all go out there and try to tear each other heads off at this age, we're going to stop it. So if y'all go out there and box like y'all got sense and give the people something to look at in COVID, then we'll let y'all go. So he came out and I said, Mike Tyson don't know how to play. Mike Tyson hit me with the lace in my face. Mike Tyson hit me in my chest with a hard enough shot to break my doggone chest bone. I was like, wow.
Well, at least you came out with both of your ears.
That's true. And I told him that too. I said, if you bite me, I'm gonna bite you back. I told that before we went in. If you bite me, Mike, I'm biting you back. You understand me? So, but it was a fun situation. It was a great situation. It was a great situation. Wasn't great financially because of the way they did it, but it was all good. It was for the people. So I took it for what it was worth. Nowadays, people taking this exhibition stuff and they're going too far with it. You know what I mean? They're not doing it for those reasons. They're not acknowledging or keeping it what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And it's like they're making it like that's a real fight. And it's not. So it's hard when people have devoted their whole life to the sport.
I agree.
And a guy that comes in that just, because he's famous on social media, he makes 5 times the money these guys make. It's crazy, you know?
It is crazy. I agree. You said something about Neutronics Labs. So this is a good point in our interview to pivot to that for a moment, and we'll bring Ron in here in a second. You had said, hey, look, I've thought about it. If someone asked to do one of these exhibitions like, Jake Paul's doing, and I know putting Neutronics on the shelf for a minute, you're confident because you're still one hell of a boxer. You know it. I know it. And you can get into the ring and throw down. But the Neutronics thing does level some things up a little bit, doesn't it? Because you don't look 57. I get told I don't look 56. And Ron Oliver, let's get you in on this because you look great. You're a fitness guru. You've been working with Roy, and you're a huge proponent of Neutronics, and we'll talk about the science of Neutronics. But Roy, I wanted to go back with what you said, and we'll bring Ron in on this, but a lot of people don't realize how powerful this stuff is. And I'll tell you a quick story, Roy. September of 25, I go get my physical, and the doctor calls back a couple of days later, and he says, "Hey, man, you got diabetes," and it just floored me. And I'm like thinking, "Oh my God, it's a death sentence." And And so, you know, he talks to me and says, no, I want to put you on meds. I want to do this. I want to do that. Your A1C is 9.3 and you got to lose a bunch of weight. And I said, can you give me 60 days? 60 days to just figure this out and try to do things without meds and you know, get some significant weight loss and get my A1C. And he said, look, I'm going to give you 60 days. In 60 days, you're going to come back in here. If not, I got to get you on like metformin or something to help you. And I said, okay. So I the first call, and I told Ron this the other day, the first call was to Dr. Bruce Fong, who happens to be the medical director of Neutronics Labs. And I've known Dr. Fong for years. So I called Bruce, Dr. Fong, and he said, look, you can do this, but let me introduce you to Neutronics Labs. And I said, what's Neutronics Labs? And he shared with me. And I said, oh, it's the company you've been a part of for quite some time. He goes, yeah, I told you about it a couple of years ago and you just didn't want to do anything with it. He said, nah. Because I'm a skeptic. And it's just my nature. I'm a skeptic. I'm like, don't get me no. See, what I thought it was like multi-level marketing or something. I thought, oh man, Bruce, don't get me into some multi-level marketing stuff. Man, I don't want to do this. But he said, just trust me. And he said, I looked at your chart. Your testosterone's horrible as well. Let me get you on a couple of products. And I have them right here, the Man's Edge and then the IGF 300,000 that I'm taking. And he said, take this. Let's get you on, you know, a weight regimen. Make a long story short, I start taking this stuff. 60 days later, I kid you not, this is fact, verifiable fact, my A1C went from 9.3 to 5.8, pretty much in normal ranges, in remission. Now I'm at 5.6 A1C. I've lost 45 pounds in 5.5 months. I got 40 pounds more to go to get to 195. And I'll tell you, I give God the credit for giving me the discipline and having his hand of grace and mercy on me. Number one. Number two is Neutronics Labs has played a huge role in this. And of course, me being disciplined like you, and you know that better than anybody, Roy, doing the right things, getting in the gym, walking, eating right, and it's working. And I feel better than I've ever felt. My testosterone level now is back to normal ranges. My wife is ecstatic about that, obviously. And I feel like a man again. You know, I don't have a flat tire in the bedroom anymore. And I'll be frank with you, I had a flat tire in the bedroom for a while, and you don't want to admit it. And so Ron and Roy, talk to this audience about Neutronics, because I've been talking to my radio show audience about this. And here we have Roy Jones Jr., world boxing champion, multiple times over. And we've got Ron Oliver, and you've been a fitness guru for 35 years. You train people. You work with people like Roy Jones Jr. and many others. Talk to us about Neutronics and why it's so special.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, Neutronics Labs is a game changer, okay? Like, you got to understand, I'm extreme with my health. I've never been vaccinated. I don't use regular toothpaste. I don't use normal detergent in my home to clean my clothes. My home is chemical free. I've been like this since I was born. My parents were health nuts, okay? So I've been mentored by a world-class biochemist and a brilliant doctor. Because of his training and mentorship, I've been sick in 30 years, okay? So 8 months ago when I came across Neutronics Labs, I wasn't expecting to get blown away by anything. I'm always open-minded, right? Your brain's like a parachute. If it ain't open, it's useless, right? So I'm always open-minded. And I'm having a look at this product. I got to talk to Dr. Rick Lentini, the owner. We had a 3-hour conversation, you know, because we both just get along, and we both had an interesting story to tell. And he told me all about these products, and I was just blown away. So I got on the products. And what I got to tell you is, like, I have the best of anything you could want for supplements. But this is a whole nother category. This is legitimate anti-aging. You know, aging is been called a disease by more than one doctor. You know, one of the top anti-aging doctors from, you know, what's the university? Harvard University. He calls it a disease. My mentor called it a disease 30 years ago. So I have no desire to age gracefully, right? So I'm always looking for anything to give me that advantage, to keep my youth, to keep me young and strong, right? And to share this with my clients. And after I started working with Roy, which was like a dream come true, right? In fact, it wasn't even in my dreams. I was thinking that's never going to happen. Here's my favorite boxer of all time, you know? And then next thing you know, he becomes a client, he becomes a friend, and I'm just like, wow, I'm working with this guy. And then what really happened was, it was really partly to do with Roy, because I gave Roy the recommendation of the same, testosterone boosting supplements I was taking. And they were giving me some help. They were working for me. They gave me some good advantage with natural hormone production for testosterone, right? When I gave them to Roy, they did nothing for him. Nothing. He didn't get no benefit at all. I was like, oh, I felt so bad. So I started digging hard. I got to find something, get my man feeling like me, because they weren't absorbing for him like they were for me. I've been detoxing my body for 30 years, so I can absorb any half-assed decent supplement. But he needed something that's, next level, right? So that's how I ended up coming across Neutronics Labs. And when I found out they got 98.6% absorption, I was like, what? Are you kidding me? 98.6 absorption. Did you say that? Did I hear that right? And then I looked at the ingredients list. We're talking 400 active ingredients. Now, this is very important because nothing dead can support life. I was told that by my mentor probably 1,000 times in the 12 years he mentored me. So it'd be stuck in my head, right? We're designed for living water, living food, and living medicine. We're not designed for dead anything. Today, people drink dead water. They eat dead food. They take dead medicine. Even when they grow vegetables in their garden, they bring it in the house and they kill it with heat, so it's not even beneficial. So what Neutronics Labs did is something profoundly amazing, because they found the incredible benefits of what's in the antler of the New Zealand red deer. They extracted it with vacuuming it out, the soft tissue in the antlers. They clip off the tips, right? They don't harm the animals. For all the animal lovers, I'm an animal lover. Roy's an animal lover. We don't want them killing deer, right? So They didn't hurt the deer. They vacuum it out. It gets cold pressed. Then it's freeze dried, which preserves the living bioavailability, the actual frequencies, and the compounds, the components, everything in there. So we're talking 400 active ingredients. I mean, they're still living. They're still vital, right? It's got 40 compounds. It's got over a dozen growth factors, IGF-1, IGF-2. It's 51%, 50 to 53% amino acids. It's loaded with all the essential peptides. It's got 34% mineral content. It's loaded with anti-inflammatories. It's got collagen in it. It's got even nootropics, cognitive enhancers. So when I did all the due diligence, studied all this, I was just like, what? I've never seen anything like this in my life that is so packed with nutrients and things we need that literally every North American is deficient in, because our modern day North American diet is ridiculously deficient. And it's toxic as heck, right? So I'm dealing with, trying to hydrate human beings, trying to get them alkaline and detoxify them, and then eliminate nutritional deficiencies. So this usually takes months of detoxifying before I can even get a normal human being in this modern world to absorb their food. Now I got a bioavailable supplement that's all whole, organic, raw ingredients. It absorbs in seconds, 98%, 98.6%. So I'm like, wait a minute, I can change someone's life in days now.
Yeah.
Profoundly.
And it's true. And it is literally days. And it is literally days. I mean, that's a valid statement, because
100%.
I'm living it. I mean, it
100%.
Literally. And I, again, and Roy, I don't know how you feel, but I'm a skeptic by nature, man. When people put, potions and lotions in front of me, I'm a skeptic, and because I've tried other things in the past, guys, and it just never worked, and it gave me funky side effects. My face would get real hot. This doesn't do any of that at all. The only hot I get is now in the bedroom with my wife. That's the hot. That's it.
This is very true. Now, and for me, see, my problem is I'm a skeptic too, but I also pay attention to people. I like to let people do what they do.
Yeah.
Ron is a health guru. He loves and lives and breathes health. So it was crazy because I was on one of his other health regimens, and some things were working, some weren't. And I was saying, okay, this is normal. It's like usually stuff don't work for me that work for other people. So I wasn't mad about it. I'm going, but as I'm listening to Ron and I'm seeing how asinine he is about it, he's the same way about health as I'm about teaching boxing. That means we are complete gurus on that. We don't bend for nothing. You understand me? So when he came to me and said he had a product that blew him away, oh nah, bro, I don't even need to hear nothing else. I got to try that, because ain't nothing on the planet supposed to blow Ron Oliver away. Because this is what he do. So if something blew him away, I don't even want to read it. Just send it to me and tell me how to take it. Because you done checked it backwards and forth 100 times. You know everybody who had anything to do with producing it. You know exactly where it came from. You know exactly what's all in it. So he done did the research 5 times before he ever said anything to me. And I know this. But if he's impressed, hurry up and get me some. So
There
I
you go.
got it. When I got it, I started finding myself walking around the house throwing punches again. I hadn't threw punches in years. I just didn't have energy. I just didn't feel like doing it. You know, it's like when you feel good, you do things that you love doing.
Sure.
When you don't feel good, you just kind of exist.
Yeah.
So I was okay, but I wasn't feeling at my best. I know because I couldn't think of the last time I had caught myself throwing punches walking around the house. Excuse me. I get on this stuff. I start walking around throwing punches. I'm like, what's going on here? Then I started realizing, like you said, in the bedroom, stuff started getting different.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I feel like I'm 20 years old again, you know? So it's like, I knew if Ron said it was gonna be what it was supposed to be, but it has been that everything was supposed to be and some.
Yeah, it's there's no question. So Ron, with what Roy just said, let's talk about testosterone for a moment because I'm 56, soon to be 57, and we've got a lot of different eyeballs that watch this. All these different age groups, etc. Testosterone. I think there's this myth that testosterone only affects guys that are older, and it could affect younger men too, right? I mean, it's a real issue. Yeah,
100%. I did more research on testosterone after I found Neutronics Lab than I've ever done in my life. I'm a data guy. I got to know the data because like opinions are like belly buttons, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got one. And the only thing that tells you the truth is the data. So you got to dig up the data, get a look at the actual evidence, right? And so when I did the research, I was shocked. It was worse than I had thought because I've been dealing with men and women's health for 35 years. So I know what's going on. I've worked with thousands of people, right? But when I actually did the research on Canada and the United States to see the testosterone levels, it's like, wow, it's shocking. It's the lowest in the history of mankind in Canada and the United States. We have the lowest testosterone in the world. Okay. It's really bad. For example, like the ultimate level of testosterone for a really healthy male, natural, an athlete would be like 800, maybe as high as 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. That's like a complete super healthy man, right? Young and very fertile, very, very, in shape, all that. Okay. For a woman, it's going to be 70 nanograms per deciliter. So it's a huge contrast, right? And then of course, in women, the estrogen is much higher. And in men, testosterone, the estrogen is very low, right? But we also have a massive growth hormone deficiency in North America and IGF-1 level, IGF-2 level, all the growth factors. There's a hormone problem across the board in North America.
Yeah.
So when I started to do all the research, I realized we're in bigger trouble than I thought. And I've been working on this problem for ages. Normally what I got to do, like I said before, is I got to detox people for months before they even start to absorb, an anabolic diet that will help boost their testosterone because even their hormone receptor sites are clogged up with microplastics, forever chemicals, heavy metals, and all of that, right? But with this, I can help people turn the corner overnight almost. Within a few days, they feel way better. Within a week or two, they're blown away because I can get all of these things they're deficient in directly in their bloodstream by putting an extract under their tongue, which doesn't even taste bad. It tastes good.
Yeah.
So now I got their attention. See, the biggest problem for me is that everybody's a skeptic. I'm the biggest skeptic in this room right now. I don't trust nothing because I've seen all the cons come out in the supplement world,
right.
With all the fake diets, all the BS, and I'm educated so I can see what it is. But everybody else has got conned just about by it, who's not an expert, and they've bought it all and they've tried it all and it doesn't work. It usually makes them worse at the end than better, right? All these diets and fads and, now it's synthetic peptides and it's this and it's that. There's always something new. A little while ago, it was some blue stuff supposed to be good for you. No, it's not. Blue dye is not good for anybody. It's good for your pen, but I wouldn't recommend consuming it, you know?
Agreed.
So with these, and I got to give a shout out to Rick Lentini, the owner of Neutronics Lab. This guy is a phenomenal human being. And in my whole career, I've always made it a point of meeting the owners, the doctors, the formulators, the chemists, everybody involved with the product, so I can pick their brains and find out what I really want to know. I can't just depend on websites and data that I can find on the internet, right? So I need to know the human being. Who is the man behind this, right? So when I met him, I was very pleasantly surprised. He's a veteran, right? ex-Green Beret, you know, he's a war hero. Let's be honest, between you and me, he's a war hero. I have utmost respect for him, but he's also a brilliant businessman. But more importantly than all of that, he's a perfectionist. He will not allow a product to be with his label on it that's not absolutely perfect.
That's true.
And pure and bioavailable. He has to have the best product in the world or he's not happy.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have the best in the world, he don't want to have it, you know? And so that's how he is. That's how I think. I'm the same way. So me and him hit it off right away because almost every supplement company out there, and there's a few good ones, but I'm going to tell you 99% of them, in my personal professional opinion, garbage, okay? Most of it is designed to make money off the masses because the masses are not well educated about bioavailability, about nutrition, about supplementing at all. So they'll just about buy anything. They're sold, and there's some great marketing out there, right? But with Rick, he has the same motto as me. It's all about the people. It's all about the client or the customer. He makes the people the number one priority. He wants people to have amazing results. Then he knows if he's providing them that, he's going to have product as a guarantee. And he's been in business for 25 years, right?
25 plus years, 10 million bottles sold, and just I can't even count how many 5-star reviews because they're in the thousands of people. And so, and you know, I talk about this on my radio show quite a bit when I'm live on radio, and I've had the audience try it, and then they'll send me a direct message on Instagram, or they'll send an email and say, man, this stuff really does work. And, or my wife is now on the sleep therapy, and she wasn't sleeping because, she's deep into medicine. There you go. And so, it's amazing to see people coming back and saying, man, this stuff is good. The whole issue, and I think you guys can both help me with this, is that we're skeptics, but it was proven to us. So people that are watching this are also skeptics, and it has to be proven to them.
That means they're intelligent.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure, because they, there's a lot of these multi-level marketing, and and it's all about recruiting people versus the product and how it can help people. I'm not saying all of them are that way, but the ones I've encountered have been. Yeah. So with people watching, Roy and Ron, what do you say to the 50-plus-year-old male that is struggling? What do you say that they want to go get testosterone injections and which it's not something I would ever want to do. What do you say to them when they're looking at us watching this? What advice or encouragement do you give them?
Well, the first thing I want to say is that Neutronics Labs is not a network marketing company of any kind. It's a e-commerce business, right?
Correct.
And am I still there?
You are.
Okay. It's an e-commerce business. They have their own lab. They have the rights to the farm, their formula, proprietary formula. They have the chemist. It's all locked up, and it's just incredible. And what I want to say to the men and women out there who are listening is, whether you're a man or a woman, stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you something you want to know. Okay, your health is number one.
Yeah. Okay,
number one is your health. And what's the most valuable commodity, Steve, in existence?
Well, to me, it's health. It's your life.
Health is a little bit different than a commodity, but the number one valuable commodity in the universe that anyone has access to is time.
Okay, sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that's going to allow you to have a quality time is going to be your health. So you have a limited amount of time on this planet, even if you're extremely healthy, right? But the only thing that's going to give you a good time on this planet to enjoy your loved ones and your family, and that's what life's all about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The valuable relationships, our family, our wives, our husbands, our children, our grandparents, our brothers, sisters, friends, all of that, right? So the only thing that can give us quality time with the people we love, and so we don't become a burden to them when we're older,
very true,
is our health. Health is number one, right? Yeah. And in our modern world, we have let that slide. We've made everything else a priority but our health. And then those that try to make their health a priority, they can't figure out going through the maze on what to do, because there's a million gurus telling them a million stories. So it's just, this is what I tell everybody. Yeah. Number one, trust should be earned. Never give your trust away for free. Don't trust me. You just met me. If you never heard me before, if you never seen my face before, if you never heard my name before, don't trust me. But if you give me the opportunity to earn your trust, I can do that because I actually do know what I'm talking about. So number one,
I'm glad you said that because I wanted to say this real quick just to piggyback on this. And you're right, and this is where I'm going with Dr. Rick. He gives this guarantee. So I mean, when someone buys some Neutronics, depending on what's their issue, testosterone or sleep or stress, or they just want some anti-aging, there's a variety of different products. If it doesn't work out for you, you get your money back.
100%.
I mean, so you got, right, guys, you got nothing to lose.
No,
and there's not a lot of companies that do that say, hey, you know what, try it. And if if it doesn't work out for you after 30 days, we'll give you your money back.
And he didn't say get the product back. He said he'll give you your money back. You don't have to send the product back.
No, you keep the product.
Just give you the money back. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's huge. That was a big deal.
Confidence.
Absolutely.
That's confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's had that guarantee the whole time.
Yeah, that's
I can tell you this. I will never stop taking these products ever. And all of my clients are in the same boat. Hey, Roy, what's your interest in just stop taking these products right now?
I'm never going to stop taking them.
Yeah, see.
No way. These are I have a lot of wonderful supplements, guys. I got amazing meal replacement. I got amazing enzymes. I got amazing probiotics. I got the best of everything, minerals, nano silver. I got all these things. But this is in a category at the top of the mountain that it just basically shadows everything else. These are by far my favorite because, again, I'm not interested in aging gracefully. And back to the time factor, okay? None of you need to get old. The only reason why we're aging is because of chronic dehydration, toxicity, malnutrition. Now, this product here is going to start annihilating the malnutrition for you immediately within seconds with 98% absorption under the tongue. I can guarantee you, and Dr. Fong has agreed with me because I've had many conversations with him about these products off air, just between us, and with Dr. Rick Lentini. There's not a single nutrient or growth factor or mineral or amino acid or peptide or everything that's in here that the average American isn't massively deficient in right now. Now, I bring it back around to me for a minute. I'm a guy that eats more fanatically than anyone you're going to meet. And Roy will tell you, I'm extreme. I eat only organic whole foods. I don't even eat in a restaurant. I won't even eat in a restaurant. After I buy my organic whole raw foods, we detoxify before we even eat it, guys. Okay? We go extreme. I eat raw meat, not bloody raw meat. Well, we dehydrate it, okay? My whole point is I got the most extreme diet you could ever do. Most people won't even do what I'm doing. They won't do it. But yet, why is it that when I went on the Man's Edge right here, and I went on both of their top, IGF-1 products, the 300,000 with Long Jack and the 600,000, did I get this amazing boost within one day? I must have been deficient in these things. I'm even drinking organic raw milk like I did when I was a little boy. Okay. And I never get sick. As you know, I'm a super healthy guy. 8 months ago, I would have told you I feel 30 in my prime, better than any 30-year-old on the planet. Now I'm going to tell you, well, that's not true. I feel like I'm 20.
Wow.
And I'm urging everyone who's listening to me, right, to listen to me for a minute. Don't trust me. Just listen to me. You got to go buy yourself some of this stuff. Get yourself a bottle of the Man's Edge. If you're a lady, get yourself the woman's formula. It's equally as profoundly good for a woman as the Man's Edge is for me and Roy and you, sir. And then get on the IGF-1 products. If you got trouble with sleep, that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
So get yourself on the sleep product. I've never had a problem with sleep in my life, mostly just because, well, when I met Roy and he became my client, I had trouble with sleep. I was so dang excited I couldn't sleep for a couple of days. I couldn't shut up about it. That was obviously a big deal for me.
Yeah,
better
sure.
than Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been using the sleep product because recently my wife and I had a baby. He's 8 months old, and you know how babies are.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not getting my beauty sleep. That's why I'm looking so hideous today. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm not trying to scare your audience. But this stuff here is getting me into the deep sleep.
Yeah.
So I can nod right back to sleep after he wakes us up and wants to eat or needs his diaper changed because he peed or whatever,
I can attest to that. My wife takes that. My wife takes the sleep therapy, and I can attest to that. It works for her. It does. I don't have a problem sleeping, which is a great thing, but the issue I had was the weight, And so, making all these different adjustments and adding just two simple components, and that's the man's edge because of the testosterone issue, and it's got some IGF in there, and then the IGF-1 300,000, that has been really great for me. And and I guess, and you guys will not find this odd, maybe people that are watching this will find this odd, it has put me in a position where I crave good foods, not bad food. That's odd, right? But that's just the way I guess we're supposed to.
Makes perfect sense to me. I understand why.
I'm craving good foods, even when I'm in Vegas, because I have to bounce between Vegas and Phoenix, and I'm out and I have to go to a dinner. I'm trying to find things on the menu that really try to speak to me, not the stuff that used to be all the fried foods and all these things. It just doesn't do well for me anymore. It's just my body's craving different things. And so I'm stoked about that because I want to live to see my grandchildren get older and get married and want to be around for as long as God has me. I mean, and I think God expects us to work with people that, understand certain things, science and nutrition. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Absolutely.
And I like the fact that Ron taught me something that I didn't know. I have heard of people getting on growth hormone, but what basically happens is your brain produces growth hormone in the pituitary gland, I think. Yep. Then the growth hormone goes to your liver and is transformed to IGF. This stuff gives you IGF right away. Straight natural IGF. No transformation, no gotta break it down. No. Straight IGF. You understand me? That's basically growth hormones, what we take it as. So it's like, that's crazy. We get a natural form of growth hormone without even having to do anything. That's the craziest thing ever to me.
Yeah. And what's amazing is these have been third-party tested, all these products, for their bioavailability. Again, 98.6% absorption, which is crazy. And they've been tested to see if there's any steroids in there. 0 drugs in there. There's no steroids in any of these products. Completely natural. And if you go back to the New Zealand red deer, I encourage everyone, Google New Zealand red deer. Go look at a picture of a big buck. They average 500 pounds. They're monsters. And they got a rack on them. It's just unbelievably huge. It's just a massive rack. And this male deer grows this entire rack in 90 days.
Wow. Wow.
That's unbelievable.
That's
like a miraculous thing, right? Think about that. When you see the rack, I've seen up to 34 points. It's massive. It looks like there's a tree growing off his head, right? Yeah. And they just trim the tops off, 3 inches off the top. They vacuum it out, and all the growth factors, the minerals, the amino acids, the peptides, everything in there, the anti-inflammatory, so the animal's not in pain when it grows so fast, right? Everything is there that we are supposed to have in our bodies from our human diet. But the modern man's not on really much of a human diet. They're on a fake food diet and a toxic color your beverage diet. Yeah. It's unbelievable what people are eating Franken food in America and Canada right now. Yeah. It's like Frankenstein. It's fake. It's not a real man. Yeah, this ain't real food. And it's making us not only toxic, but it's leaving us malnourished. There's no shortage of calories in America. You can look around and see that, unfortunately.
That's true.
But there's a shortage of nutrients getting into our blood cells, nourishing us. So now we're getting over 400 bioavailable active living ingredients in the perfect matrix, the perfect balance as God made them and put them in the mammals that walk around the planet, including the men and the women.
Yeah,
right?
Incredible.
Now, everybody knows that the testicles on a man produces testosterone.
Sure.
Everybody knows the ovaries produce the estrogen for the women. And some people know about the pituitary producing growth hormone. But because of all the calcification from fluoride and all the toxins in the water and the beverages and the food, we have a huge hormone problem across the board. Anyone can do their due diligence.
Yeah. If
you look up the side of the deficiency symptoms of low estrogen in a woman, or low testosterone in a man, or low growth hormone, or IGF-1 or IGF-2 in any man or woman, it's a nightmare. It's a huge, huge problem. Low testosterone in men causes an 88% increase in mortality.
Wow.
Huge increase in cancer, diabetes, heart disease. This is a nightmare. It's not just about libido. It's not just about muscle mass and being muscular and strong or being formidable if you need to protect your family, right? It's about health. You cannot live long if you have messed up hormone levels.
I learned that. That's what just blew my mind. as you know, you start doing this and you start taking your health serious and you start doing these things. I'm one of those guys too. Dad, I want to research, I want to know, I want to see. And you know, now I believe it because I know for a fact. I'm living it. I know what I know. So
I'm going to say to have a product this vulnerable on the market that's safe, organic, natural. It's like you can't get anything better than this. I too have a code like Steve has, so you can use a code, either one of our codes, but you're missing out on something great, something spectacular if you don't try this product. When I tell you that the guru himself was overwhelmed by the product, that should be more than enough to convince anybody to go out and at least try the product. And thank you for having us, Steve.
okay, Roy, before we get to Ron, give us your code, because here's what I find is extremely important. Not that people don't like Steve Sanchez, not that people don't like Ron Oliver, but Roy Jones Jr., just look at you and look at the accomplishments in your boxing career. People grew up watching you. People grew up wanting to be you, inspiring, and you have inspired a whole legion of boxers, maybe even some UFC fighters that used to watch boxing in the day. Roy, give out your info. We're also running that on the screen as we speak right now, because I want this audience specifically because they feel connected to you.
Right.
I want them to go and go to, your, neutronicslabs.com. What's your promo code? Because they feel connected to you. And I want to make sure they're going right where you go and where you are.
And my code is neutronicslab.com/Roy Jones Jr. And mine will get you a bigger discount if you go on auto ship. I think you give like a 50% discount, Ron?
Yes.
Yeah, on top of the 10, yes.
Yeah,
that's
so
big. That's big.
Yeah, so I think if you go on auto ship, and it's smarter to go on auto ship because if you do that, you yourself gonna be getting the product automatically. You have to remind yourself to go order. Because when I first started, I had to remind myself, and when I got off for a couple of days, it kind of upset me and made me feel different than when I was on it. So I started getting mad, saying, you know what? They need to just get it to me every month so I can be sure to take it. Because when you're on the move a lot, you will forget things.
Absolutely. My producer has now put the banner. People can see the banner there of neutronicslabs.com/Roy Jones Jr. Even a greater discount by going there. So I'm going to encourage everybody watching, go there, neutronicslabs.com/Roy Jones Jr. You'll see the special savings. They're great. And it's something that I really think you should take advantage of, ladies and gentlemen. It's worked for me, and many people 6 months ago, 5.5 months ago, saw my face pretty round, 45 pounds down. There's no magic. It's God, because I just give, God all the glory.
Not a question.
And 100%. Just the will to want to be different and be disciplined and eat right and exercise, and then Neutronics. That's it. Yep. That's my formula. There's nothing else there. Ron, what do you have to say to the audience?
Back to what I was saying before, everybody listening to me right now, trust must be earned. Don't give away your trust for free. So my recommendation to all of you is to just listen carefully. You got nothing to lose, okay? You go there, get yourself the product, the man's edge. If you're a woman, get the woman's formula. Get yourself the strongest IGF-1 product you can afford. You're going to get the $300,000, or sorry, not $300,000, 300,000 nanograms of the IGF-1 with Long Jack for free, $200 value, $202. But if you can afford it, get yourself the 600,000. You'll be on the same stack that Roy and I are on, the 300,000, the 600,000, and the man's edge. And then sign up on the auto ship for at least 90 days. Give yourself 90 days. Now remember, within 30 days, if you're not absolutely blown away, you get all your money back. You can just keep the bottles, throw them away if you want. Okay,
but you got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose.
You're not going to want to quit. I felt it by the first day. Now I'm not your average guy, but Roy felt it in just a few days. Within a week, he was blown away. 2 weeks, he was like, "Wow, this is even better." So you're going to feel it in that first month. You just have to be, willing to do it faithfully every day. Okay, don't do it religiously. Religiously is on days of Sundays, Sundays and Wednesdays or whenever your Bible study. Do it faithfully every day. Take it 3 times a day. Start with the dose on the bottle. If you need a bigger dose, you can call the company or you can you know, reach out to one of us and we'll tell you what to do for your age, your weight, your activity level. You know, there's a medicinal dose, there's an athletic dose, and there's a dose for an athlete like Roy, someone who's training for a fight, let's say, or a runner or a professional athlete. But then there's also levels for anti-aging if you want to start reversing your age. And that's something we can get into on another podcast if you want.
Absolutely.
But you got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
The only way you can lose is if you don't go buy some today.
Yeah.
And give it a try. And you will not be disappointed. I have 100% of my clients thrilled with it. Not one person has told me it didn't help them tremendously. They're all telling me, thanks for giving my life back, my masculinity back. I got all the ladies thrilled by the woman's formula. They love it. My wife loves the woman's formula. It's a game changer.
Banner's going through once again for everybody watching. NeutronicsLabs.com/Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr., what an honor, pleasure. I wish my dad was still living. My dad passed away of cancer back in 2016. He was a huge fan.
Sorry to hear that. Thank you.
Well, you know, it's been tough. You know, you said this in the beginning. You said your dads are your heroes, and every now and again, and you know, it's still very fresh, even though it's been 9 years, because it's times like I'd like to call and say, hey, Dad, do you know who I just interviewed? And he'll say, who? Roy Jones Jr. He'll say, get the hell out of here. I said, no, I did. And this is great. And so it's an honor to get to meet you, to know what you're doing, that you're behind this. Ron, Oliver, we've had some conversations already over the last few days. What an honor to meet you as well. You're a wealth of knowledge. I'm looking forward to having you guys back on and also on the live radio show as well. And we'll do that very soon. But I appreciate your time today. Good luck. God bless. And we'll talk to you very soon.
God bless you too. And thank you so much for having us.
Peace.